Good afternoon. How are you? This is Twinness, and I am Tisha McDonald here, Alternatives Beauty Studio, but we're not talking beauty tonight.
I am Tanika Gillard. I'm naturally yours. Thank you for joining Twinness. I am just pulling it up on my phone, T, because I know you like, what are you doing? Just pulling it up on my phone so I can see the viewers and comment accordingly. So anyway, what's going on? How was your day?
My day was awesome. It was good, and yours? It was rainy out there yesterday, I heard.
We are under tornado watch. I don't know if we're still under, but it was a rainy day. I had to get up, go to work, and then they said, well, y'all got a half a day. So that was good that they let us out early. But people driving like they were crazy. I'm like, this is bad weather, you guys, but I was happy to make it home safely. Thank God. So, but yeah.
Okay, and tomorrow we're getting swamped with snow, with rain and possible snow on Friday. So there you go. But
For
anyway,
us,
guys, go ahead.
no, for
Oh, you
us,
don't
the
want to lift
snow
my
is
door.
over. The
Oh,
snow is
okay.
over. But anyway.
So tonight, guys, thank you for watching. We have a guest, and he's been on before. His name is LP, and he has so many views on Coming to America. And I just watched the movie for entertainment purposes. I wasn't reading any deeper, but then there are subliminal messages within the movie, just like there are with any entertainment type of thing. So I just want to say, Tanika, you have any words before we put LP on?
I have yet to see the movie. LP has, I've been following him and listening to his insights. We joke about it and talk about it at the shop all the time. Things that I can agree with, some things I'm not sure yet because I hadn't seen the movie. And so maybe you could enlighten the people, or our viewers can type in and chat and let us know their thoughts and their views. And if you're catching the replay, thank you. But thank you guys for who is watching. So let's get LP on here.
I'm gonna bring LP right now. We're gonna get right into it.
What's
Hi,
up?
LP.
What's
How
up?
are
What's
you?
up? How y'all doing?
We are great. We are
Good.
great.
It's great to be back on the show again with you all. Y'all are doing an excellent job. I love watching y'all show. Y'all doing a great job. So thank you
Thank
for the opportunity to
you.
come back.
Thank you,
Thank you.
LP.
So let's
So
get into it. Give
LP,
us. Uh huh.
I was gonna say LP, the last time you was here, you was talking about your thoughts, and your thoughts obviously don't stop because you have a lot of thoughts about this movie. So please tell us your thoughts about this movie.
I thought the movie I think it was clever. I thought it was there was a lot of humor there. Um there was a lot of great nostalgic moments. Um, but overall, um, I was I was disappointed. I was disappointed. I had this high expectation for um, because you got to understand with part one. When this movie came out, this was actually our first time seeing Africa on television in a positive light. This was our very first time seeing it. It gave us an amazing depiction of royalty, black royalty, and it gave us a lot of hope and a lot of inspiration, as well as made us laugh. Um, However, I had this expectation to get this feeling of black royalty, positivity of African culture. I had this high expectation to experience that, but I did not get that. We did not get that at all in this movie.
Okay.
I have a question. Um, Hearing you say that, do you think it's something like because now today this is has become a big deal? Like, let's say I think it was The Simpsons with just different cartoonists that have portrayed black people, but it was white actors behind the cartoon. So
Mm-hmm.
now they are saying no, to make it authentic. We are going to hire, if you're playing a black character, we're going to have black actors behind the cartoonist as opposed to. So do you think it would have been better if, well, Coming Coming to America was Eddie Murphy's thing 30 years ago anyway. Do you think it would have been better if it were African players playing because they know Africa, or do you think it was too Americanized?
It's the first part one was it was all Americans. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? In it portrayed, African culture. You get what I'm
Hmm.
saying? They could have easily did the same thing again. So what it was African. It was it was an African based movie, but it was pure African American culture, expression, ideology.
I think that's what I was saying. That's what I was trying to say.
Right, right, right. It was nothing African or royal about it.
And you compared that to the Black Panther movie where you said, if I'm quoting you right, but you were saying how they wasn't going to let it be another Black Panther
Oh
movie
no.
because they did have so many positive images in the Black Panther movie compared to Coming to America 2.
Yeah, they couldn't give us that again. They couldn't give us that again. That gave us too much hope, gave us too much inspiration, gave us it gave us too much pride. They
Okay,
couldn't do that again.
so you gave Black Panther a thumbs up, whereas you giving Coming to America a thumbs down, sort of.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, just want to be clear. Now let's hit your points.
Okay, again, guys are watching the Twinness, and we are with LP. We are talking about Coming to America. If you have any comments, you can just put them in the chat. LP will respond. I will respond right back to you. All right, let's get to it, LP.
All right, hold on one second. Let me share my screen. Okay. All right. Can y'all see my presentation screen?
I can see it.
There
Okay,
you
there
go.
you go.
Yes.
All right. Here we go. Coming to America was a powerful movie. All right. It was very well written. Great storyline. Excellent nostalgic moments based on part one. Great costumes with elegant and bright colors. Phenomenal makeup for the characters played by Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall. Eddie Murphy in his usual grace of granting work to black actors who have not been getting work. Because if you pay attention, go back to all of the older movies that Eddie Murphy did, he always put black actors who weren't getting any work at the time. He's always done that. The excitement of seeing a black movie that is for the culture. Okay, it was definitely for the culture.
Okay.
Coming to America gives us powerful illustrations of the many types of leadership that have been exemplified in the African American experience. Hakeem, you remember whenever he was having the little tussle with his, they were not tussle, but he was having a practicing moment with his daughters. They were fighting, the little fighting style or whatever. And while he was fighting the girls, he said, "I am the heir of the throne of Zamunda. I shall not be ashamed by my two daughters." He was indeed shamed by all three of his daughters. Upon his shame, Semi came outside and laughed at him as he said, "Behold, Prince Akeem in his natural element, cowering at the mercy of the women in his life." And that is something that we saw throughout the entire movie.
Okay, so at work, we actually listened to, and this is bad, I'm telling you, in my office, it was awful. We actually listened to your presentation that you did on, I think it was Friday night. We listened to it in the office, and it's all Black female nurses in there. And so they said, I have to speak for, I'm always the devil's advocate, that your take on this part was maybe chauvinistic, only because you would want the daughters to be able to protect the throne if they were in charge. You know, if they had to come into power, you would want them to be able to protect it. That was one thing they said. And then they said on another that Eddie Murphy is out of shape. And, you know, and I thought that was bad. They was looking at him with his pot belly, and he's just out of shape for the throne. I think that was a mention in the movie as well. You could see Wesley Snipes as still being this, you know, hard, tough body. Whereas when you look at Eddie Murphy, he's a little twinky, a little soft. And Morgan, what's his name? You know who I'm talking about, the uncle. He's right. Yes, he's a little soft too. So you couldn't see Eddie Murphy.
Tracy Morgan, okay.
Tracy Morgan. You couldn't see Eddie Murphy as a protector of the throne since he's so out of shape. And I'm saying, you know, as a king, you should always be in shape to me. But go ahead.
I didn't take it that way, Tanika. I didn't take it that way. For me, LP, with that slide, I'm thinking you always want your children to be better than you were. So whether it was his sons or his daughters, you want your children to be better than you. So you don't want to be shamed by your kids, but you want them to be better than you were. As far as the stomach, I don't really care about that, Tanika, because this was just a movie. It was acting, you know, and you got to remember, this is 30 years later. I don't care nothing about his shape and his physique. I don't care about that. He's older now too.
It wasn't so much about the physique. But as a king, you would want them to still be in shape. Like Wesley Snipes, you could still never mind.
Camouflage with his clothing and stuff like that.
I understand. So, but go ahead, LP. We're giving our thoughts. LP's supposed to be giving his thoughts.
Hey,
well, you know, it's a conversation.
This is not my show. This is your show.
No.
This is your show. This is your show.
No, but I was just saying, I think that you will want your children to be better than what you were.
All right. Now, can I say something to challenge that thought? Just
sure.
To challenge that thought. All right. Okay, I want you to name me, in terms of men, I want you to name me three men in world history who you revere, meaning you felt that they were powerful, they were impactful, and they were wealthy. Three men in world history.
3 in world history. So can I say Obama? Can I say that?
Sure.
Okay.
Who is fit?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Give a name, Nikki. Give a name.
I don't have one. I would say the father in the movie.
Oh, yes. I love him.
No. In real life.
Jones.
In real life.
He is. Oh, real life, not the actor?
No. 3 men in world history.
World history, real life. I don't know. I don't have no thoughts on that one. I don't have no thoughts on that one, to be honest.
Okay, so you don't have to say them, but if they come to your head, I want you to answer this question. Out of the 3 men that you picked, that they were impactful, powerful, wealthy, famous, all right, can you name one of those men whose children superseded?
Can I say Will Smith?
Okay, we'll go with Will Smith. Can you name one of those men whose children superseded their greatness?
No. But that wasn't the point. The point is you would want them to supersede. Like, I would want my successor, like when I die, I would want my kids to go farther than I have been. When I mentor, I say I want my mentee to go further than where I've gone.
I'm dealing with children, the person's children.
Yeah.
How many the people who we esteem as great, impactful?
That's true. Like JFK. Powerful. JFK was a major in history. JFK.
And his children superseded his greatness?
No, none of his kids superseded him. I'm just saying that he was a great man in history.
Right. So that's the point that I'm making. Whenever he walks in his greatness, in the fullness of his purpose, and he walks in the midst of that, his children, he becomes a standard, and his children will constantly be trying to just reach, and they'll never reach it.
This is true. And that's when they say, I could never be half the man my father was.
Yeah,
Heard
so
that saying.
it's kind of like whenever we as men, if we stop, if we stop, okay, my children are born, okay, let me stop, and I'm just gonna invest in my children, It's easy for your children to supersede you. But when you continue to flow in your greatness and you walk in the fullness of your purpose, your children are not going to supersede your greatness. It's not going to happen. You become a standard. And if, again,
I like that.
We see it in world history. So a lot of times we say, well, I want my children to be better than me. I want my children. If you stop, that's going to be easy for them to do.
Okay, so I'm collecting here that his daughters superseded him. That's not a good thing.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I was just dealing with the issue, as the sister was saying. Well, you will want your children to be better than you.
Mm-hmm.
That I was just dealing with that aspect. I wasn't.
But what is your thought on it? Because the daughters were superseding him during that scene.
Well, it's not that they superseded him. What I was dealing with was the statement that Simi made. Simi said, "Behold, the prince
He's
of
always
Zamunda,
at this. Yeah.
in his natural state, cowering at the women in his life."
But I thought it was like a joke because women.
But that's what he did through the whole movie.
That's true. That's true. But you know the saying that the man is the head, but the woman is the neck. And so you can't turn without the woman, So I thought it was just like a joke. I didn't read that deep into
But
it.
that was the reality. He was cowering at the women in his life throughout the entire movie.
But I don't know, because I can also think of it as a respecting, like, I love my wife. This is what makes my wife happy. This is what's not going to make my wife happy.
We're going to get to that. So just sit tight.
Okay, we ready. We ready.
And again, guys, you guys are watching The Twinness. Thank you for watching. We are just breaking down Coming to America. We have LP on as our guest, and we have controversial or conflicting points of view.
And views.
Yes, but this is the way to have a grown adult conversation. No arguing and bickering. Let's just hear each other out.
No doubt.
I'm ready for your next slide.
All right. General Izzy and his military burst into the castle. They came in with weapons ready for war. Utterly and totally disrespectful towards Zamunda and the king. Matter of fact, they opened the doors and let them come in.
I agree.
What kind of kingdom is this? Okay, let's continue. General Izzy is introduced to us walking like an American pimp. Why was he walking like a pimp? Oh, if we can recall, he was pimping it. No, we'll get to that. Let's continue. General Izzy offers his son as Akeem's to Akeem's daughter. Upon rejection, his son becomes emotionally distressed. He was like, he like threw his hair to the side, like, and he walked off. He was just emotionally just broken. We're going to talk about him a little later. All right. Listen to what General Izzy said. It is better to be bound by blood and marriage than to be divided by blood and war. He straight up threatened King. He threatened the king right there in his house. And they ran up on him with weapons. And what did the Prince of Zamunda do? Nothing. Where was the honor for royalty? Because if you can remember, this same group of people, you remember the woman that they offered to Akeem? And he was asking, what kind of movies do you like? Whatever you like. What kind of food you like? Whatever food you like. Remember her?
Yeah.
They presented the man who came from this same group of people came into Zamunda with utter respect and was like, I would like to offer my daughter to your son. You remember that? It was
Of
just
course.
it was very respectful and honor, and you get what I'm saying? But they ran up in here with just utter disrespect. Okay, let's see where we going with this, LP. All right, the king is dying. His father told him, this is what father told Hakeem. Heed my words before I am gone. The throne is passed to a male heir. Yet his father talked about his shortcomings in masculinity. This is what his dad told him. His father told him that he was spoiled. His dad told him that he was weak. And his dad told him that he would be assassinated. This is what his daddy told him. Okay.
All right, so you want to pause?
Huh?
You want to pause?
Sure.
Okay, good. So with the one bursting into the Wesley Snipes character,
Mm-hmm.
you're so right. That was very disrespectful. I agree with you totally, 100% right there. I'm not sure if in this movie they were trying to show like the change of the times. Like back in the day, people were respectful. If you look at today, our generation, they're very disrespectful. They're very, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's what.
I'm gonna talk about this in later on, but in African, there's countries in Africa where if you just say something like under your breath to the king, you know, negative about the king, they will put you in jail.
Yes.
Not only that, but I'm sorry that I'm taking this off, but it kind of is showing like how they just burst into the White House not too long ago. They held those doors open too. It was like, you know, do what y'all want, destroy our government. It's like a disrespect of the government. So I was just making a comparison, but.
Absolutely.
Yes, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with you, LP, on that one. Now we're talking about the king dying. And the father said that his son was weak and spoiled. We got a comment here. Never been crazy about Wesley. Me either, Renee. Me either. But I believe that he was saying, because me and Tanika discussed this on the side, Hakeem was the king, the prince, I'm sorry, and he really didn't have to do anything. When you look back at Coming to America, the first one,
he was a beast in part one. He was a beast.
Yeah, and he even said back then, I want to be able to wipe my own behind. I want to be able to walk around without the rose petals. And that's what made him come to America in the first place. So he didn't want to be that weak little prince, but
they
that's
changed
the way
the narrative
he was
on
raised.
us. They changed the narrative on us in this part too.
Okay. So I think his father was saying, that's what his father was saying. He was raised weak because, of course, he had all his classes and self-defense and all of this, but, you know, everything was given to him. He didn't really have to work for anything. It's like having your children be your heir. They're going to inherit everything from you. And like what you said, he would never be his father. You know, he's going to be less than. The father set the standard, but he was never going to be compared to the king that his father was.
Let's ask Samuel L. Jackson if Hakeem was weak. You remember when Samuel L. Jackson came in the McDowell's talking crazy? You remember that?
Yes.
He told him, he said, I'm going to ask you to put down the weapon.
Yes.
If not, I will be forced to thrash you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
F you. You remember what Hakeem did? Hakeem got up and boom, dropped him. and Simi came, clack, clack, freeze, you rhinoceros peasant.
Right.
You remember that?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's not the men that we saw in this movie.
Yes.
Right.
I'm going somewhere with that.
I'm following you. I'm following.
All right, here we go. He said his father told him that he was spoiled, told him he was weak, and told him that he would be assassinated. This is a father talking to his son. We're going somewhere.
Okay. I have to pause you right there. I was quiet because I'm going back to your ministry, like Paul. Mm-hmm. You know, back in the biblical times when the father passed on, when he said his last dying words over his children, it is what it is. It was what it was. They gave their
Yes.
blessings on their dying bed. And so this is
Yes.
kind of like what this father is saying to his son. You're weak. He's just like predicting over his life, you ain't gonna make it. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that just came to me.
You snapped. He was supposed to be speaking the blessing over his son before he passed, but he cursed his son.
Yes.
Have a
he cursed his son. That is a
But not
problem.
everybody that died got blessings. Some of them were cursed.
No
And I would
doubt.
say that if that's the way the king felt about his son, then he didn't properly prepare his son to take over the
Absolutely.
kingdom.
We gonna get to that.
Okay, go
we
ahead. Go
gonna
ahead, LP. Go ahead. We're sorry.
no no no
Our
no no
special
no.
guest LP tonight on Twinness.
Nah, you good. I just want to address the fact that I'm gonna address that. You know what I mean? Okay. All right, let's continue on. All right. Okay, we were introduced to Semi, right? And can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The king's first words was an open disrespect to Semi. Oh, shut up, Semi. That's the first thing. Semi, boom, disrespected by the king. All right, next thing. The elder said, his life is far too worthless. Then the elder spat on him,
Oh,
not once, 2 times. Then
oh,
after that,
gross.
Akeem choked him, then kicked him. And as he was kicking him, the king said, kill him. This is our first introduction to Semi. Okay, so Semi was utterly humiliated. Okay, first thing we saw, he was humiliated by his daughters. Akeem was humiliated by his daughters. Second thing we seen, Akeem was humiliated by General Izzy. The next thing we saw, Akeem was humiliated by his father. The next thing we saw, Semi was humiliated by the king, Akeem, and the elder. So it was constant humiliation. What we see is leadership emasculating and castrating. Emasculate, it means to deprive a man of his male role or identity. It also to make someone or something weaker or less effective. Castrate, of course, we know what the first definition is, but in psychology, to render impotent, literally, or metamorphically, okay, by psychological means, especially by threatening a person's masculinity or femininity. All right. And the final one is to deprive of strength, power, or efficiency. Weaken. So the images that we saw, all of the men that we saw, because even Semi had a pair in part 1, okay, but we didn't see that guy in part 2. Akeem was, come on, man. Look, Daddy, I'm not marrying this woman. I'm going to America. I'm going to do my thing. Woo. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Akeem had a pair. You see what I'm saying? But this new guy that we see, these new guys, that's not who we saw in part 1. But going back to what I was saying about leadership was constantly emasculating and castrating. They were doing that to each other. Everybody was doing that to each other. Now, what does that have to do with why am I bringing this up in this movie? Because this is a clear picture of what we see in the African American community on how we do each other. This is how, ever since we were children, you know what I'm saying, when we crack on each other or clown or rib or whatever you say in your region that you live in, we were constantly trying to tear each other down for whatever reason. You get what I'm saying? And we experienced that from leadership, whether it was some coaches, it's coaches that did that to us, it's teachers that did that to us. It was leadership in the community that did that to us. Even some of us experienced that from our parents. Mm-hmm. This was a clear illustration of the poor cultural norms that we have in our community. Going back to a very trending topic right now that everybody's talking about, the Kirk Franklin situation.
Okay, I was going to bring that up at the end.
So we see, we heard this audio of Kirk Franklin, you know what I'm saying, cursing out his son, and everybody's like, well, what's the big deal? I mean, that ain't nothing compared to how my mama used to talk to me. You know, what's the big deal? That ain't nothing compared to, you see what I'm saying? It's like everybody feels like that, you know, is okay. You know, it's no big deal. What we've gotten used to is we've gotten used to poor leadership, and we've accepted poor leadership as being the norm. So when we see poor leadership being exemplified, we don't think it's bad. No, that ain't nothing. I mean, that's nothing. So whenever
going back to the movie, I think it's back to what I was saying earlier. I think that maybe the movie was more American because it's an American movie.
Absolutely.
It was more Americanized than what you would see in Africa. No, you won't see that disrespect the way you saw. That wouldn't be true in Africa.
Absolutely.
But they weren't really trying to be true to Africa. They were just trying to make a second movie and make it for entertainment purposes. But I get what you're saying as far as the leadership going downhill. And to talk on Kirk Franklin, I understand what you're saying there about the leadership. However, you know, let one of my kids come to me the wrong way. It might be some choice words, you know.
No doubt.
So
no doubt.
Children are not supposed to provoke their parents, and their parents are not supposed to make their children to wrath. So
no.
You know,
don't get me twisted. Let me say this. If my children were to deal with me in a certain way, I'm sure it's gonna be some smoke in the city coming from their daddy, right? I'm saying that. But we got to look at the underlying issues. For your children to be talking to you in that manner, there got to be some underlying issues that we just don't know about.
Well, they said it was a family matter.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like that boy, 33 years old. You understand? So he was born back around in the
33 and probably spoiled, or 33 and can't have his way now and still want more.
Absolutely.
And Kirk is saying you better grow up and get your own.
Right.
You know, we don't know what the situation was.
Right. I'm gonna touch on that briefly. My thing about that is you knew you were recording your father. You knew that you was setting him up for a reason. So whatever. Horrible. We don't see what you did. You only gave us what he did. So I can't go for that.
One-sided.
I agree. I agree 100%.
And back to the movie.
I'm dealing with the issue. I'm dealing with the issue of with the people who are addressing the language that Kirk Franklin, the choice words that he had. You know what I'm saying? What
is your thought about that? You think that's okay?
Calling my son a bitchass nigga. That's not my.
That's a bit far for me.
You know what I'm saying? I break your mother effing neck and all that type stuff. Like I don't talk like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't condemn people that do. You know what I'm saying? And but there was a lot of choice words that our parents used toward us, and that caused a lot of wounds within us mentally and emotionally. You know, and going back to what I was saying pertaining to the things that the king said to his son, I'm dealing with the father wounds that a lot of us carry because of things that our father said to us, the damaging things that our father said to us, or the damaging things that our mother said to us, the mother wounds that we carry. It's a lot of men that's walking around, they have mother wounds, and they take that anger that they have toward their mother, they take it out on every woman that they deal with. And usually they get involved with women that are just like their mother, and the same mother wounds that they got from their mother, they get those same wounds from the woman that they dealing with. And so this is an ongoing issue that we see that has caused a lot of emasculation and a lot of castration.
Put your slide back up there. I think you put it was masculinity and femininity, and I
Yes.
think my point was, that women tear each other down just as much as men tear women
Absolutely.
down or each other down as well. So I think it's, all the way around.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%. I agree
Again, you
100%.
guys are watching Twinness. This is Tisha and Tanika. We are here with our guest LP. We are breaking down Coming to America, sharing our different points of view. This might be a long conversation tonight, guys, but we just wanted to get different points of view. And if you have anything to say, please share in the comments and we will respond. So LP Renee said, we do not know the full context of the conversation, that the 33-year-old played the victim. And I totally agree with that.
Right.
We
Okay.
don't know.
I
It's
agree
not our
also.
business to know.
Right. I agree also.
And we wouldn't know anyway. It's just that he's famous. So,
Right. Exactly. I
all right,
agree.
let's get back to the movie.
All right. The king's funeral. Because of the king's lack of succession plans and improper training of his son by his own admission, he died with all the people's stock in him. This is common as we fail to train successors and tend to always die with our boots on. We can see that in our churches. We can see that in black businesses. We can see that when it comes to our community leaders and things of that nature. Think about it. We still looking for the next Martin Luther King. Where's the next Martin Luther King? We put all our stock in him. You see what I'm saying? That's what we do. We put all our stock into a particular leader. You get what I'm saying? And unfortunately, a lot of leaders allow it and permit it to happen. And so as I was saying, this is common as we fail to train successors and tend to always want to die with our boots on. Listen at what he wanted to go out in style. He like, I want to go to my funeral and I want to see it. You know what I'm saying? So he's still alive at his own funeral, in the casket, alive, looking at all of what's going on. And the funny thing about this funeral, there was literally about 8 seconds of African dance and culture.
That's true.
It was about 8 seconds. And I might be stretching it when I say 8 seconds.
That's true.
Everything else was, they didn't brought out salt and pepper. You know
That's
what I'm saying? they didn't brought out Shaka Khan. You know what I'm saying? And look what he said. He said, when he died, no one ever smiled again. Vacations were canceled. Holidays ignored. People didn't even have sex anymore. What? I mean, this king, his life has so much impact on humanity that humanity couldn't smile no more, didn't go on vacation.
That's what he wanted them to say. Because like you said, he was alive in the casket. He just wanted to hear those words. He was the greatest king ever. Now we can't live without him. We won't. That was what he wanted to hear. Not that was going to be the reality.
But I'm saying this is the way we usually go out.
Yeah. Not prepared.
This is usually how. Think about all of the people, the quote unquote leaders that folks will get on social media and they will go back and forth with you and fight with you all night long on social media, arguing, trying to stand for a particular leader, whether it's LeBron James, whether it's Michael Jordan, whether it's Kirk Franklin, whether, you see what I'm saying? It's like we will forsake all, you know what I'm saying, to argue on behalf of quote unquote leaders who don't know us, don't care nothing about us. They wouldn't piss on us if we were on fire.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Because we put all of our stock in leaders, and we put all of our personal self-worth in leaders, neglecting our own personal leadership, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So this is a statement that I said. The greatest act of leadership is mentorship. the greatest accomplishment of a leader is succession. If you call yourself a leader, let me see your succession plan. If you call yourself a leader, let me see your mentors. Who are you mentoring? Who are you grooming?
Now, that was something that we had mentioned earlier when I said you want to see the person go beyond you, whether it's your children, whether it's your mentees, you want them to go beyond you. So it's the
Absolutely.
same thing, pretty much what I was saying earlier. You have to have a succession plan.
Absolutely.
And that's business, guys. That's business. That's a business tip. You should take that one with you. That's also a funeral tip. As you know, I'm a funeral director. You need to have your stuff in order when you pass away. You need to know who's going to have what. Who do you trust with what? I know a certain one of my kids, I'm not going to trust with the houses. A certain one, I'm not going to trust with the money. Please, you need to have a succession plan and you need to know your kids. What are they able to handle? What they are not able to handle. You have to be able to say what is what. What is your succession plan? That's a business tip. That's a personal tip.
One
Up,
of the
up. You got some hearts there. Or
one
100%. All right, 100%.
one of the issues that I have when it comes to that, what you're talking about, it's a lot of black businesses that they were great businesses, but
Yes.
the business failed because all of the stock was being carried by the one who founded the business. And when he died, that was it. It was over.
But LP, we all have businesses, and like Cordell, of course, he's not going to do hair, but even my sister has her daughter, my niece, she's not going to want to have the shop when my sister passes on. Now, I'm trying to encourage Cordell to get his own business, whatever it is that he enjoys. But sometimes you try to set somebody up for the business and they don't take it over. That's
Right.
not what they want. They have Braxton and Sons. Well, Sons don't want the business,
Yeah.
So sometimes that's a challenge, but
But
you
on that
establish
note,
something.
Miguel, go ahead, LP.
I talked about this a couple of months ago, and a lot of people disagree with me, but this is just my personal opinion. I believe personally that we give our children too many options. I,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that, and one of the things that really caused me to pay attention to this was anytime you go like to a Mexican restaurant or you go to the little Chinese restaurants,
Yep.
this, that, and the other, you see them with their children.
Yep.
They got the little 9-year-old boy. All right, come in. I'm gonna show you how
Yep.
to run the cash register. And the little boy watching him, do the cash register. The little boy watching him call the
Yep.
orders in. You got the little girl. She like 9. She over there rolling forks and knives, and
Yep.
you know what I'm saying. And she over. You get what I'm saying? She back there
Yeah.
watching them cook, and you know what I'm saying. They children ain't got no choice. It's like,
Right.
okay, we're going to send you to college, but you're going to go to college so that you can learn how to do business
Run the
management.
business.
So once you get that business management degree, you're going to come back here and you're
That's
going to
right.
help us with this business. And you're going to, you get what I'm saying? But
Yes.
see, us, we give our children so many choices. Baby, you can be whatever you want to be. Whatever you want to be, son. Go out
LP.
and fly. And no, son, you're going to do this. This is what our family is doing. You're going to do this. And you're going to help me in this area. And you get what I'm saying? Like, this is something that, this is just my opinion. I just
Yeah.
believe that we give our children too many options. And as a result, we don't have our family businesses that we start. They're not sustained. When the leader is done, the business is done. That's
Can you
just my
see
personal opinion.
the
Comment.
caption on the bottom, or you cannot read that? It says our path is not or may not be our children's path.
I hear that, but at the end of the day, again, back to what I was saying, I believe we give our children too many options. Like I said, when you look at other cultures, let me say this. When you look at other cultures that are doing far better than us, when you look at other cultures that are far more financially stable than us, when you look at other cultures that have surpassed us in every area, you get what I'm saying? If we hadn't paid attention, you know what I'm saying? We are the Hispanics, they passed us up about 5 years ago. You get what I'm
I have
saying?
to agree. I have to agree, but there's 2 points I had. I
Okay.
agree with what you're saying, that we do give them a lot of choices. Because even I was talking to Tisha last night about Cordell finding a summer job, and I was saying that there's basketball camps that's hiring for counselors, but he didn't want to do the basketball camp per se. And Tisha was like, "Don't give him a choice. Just make him do it." I said, "Okay, so that was one point. Make him do it. Don't give him a choice." Because he likes basketball. And then two, if they don't have anything, like right now, or if he doesn't have a mentor, like he doesn't have a mentor to say, let's do this, or, let's do that. He does not have that. My bathroom was just redone. The contractor did the bathroom for my daughter to make it handicap accessible. And
Okay.
he's an older gentleman, but he said his father made him every summer work with him with the tools, getting on rooftops, painting
Yes.
houses and stuff like that. And so that was another thing. We don't have those old mentors, those old school mentors to say, come on, let's do this. Or if I gave Cordell the option, Cordell, do you want to do that with him this summer and learn to do
I'm never
something with
gonna say yes.
it's a no, I don't. That's what you want to do in the future, but you don't want to take the time now to learn how to do those things.
Right.
I don't know why I'm getting the feedback. I might have to put my microphone in.
Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I have two things, LP. Oh, now it flaked out. Okay, good. So one, I have had my business for almost 11 years now. And when my older daughter was younger, she had to come with me to the salon. It was not an option. My husband always said, this is a family business. She needs to be in the family business. She doesn't need to get a summer job somewhere else. Her summer job is working at Alternatives. Okay. But the thing is, and she came, but I don't need her to come and I'm working on a client and she's working with an attitude. You don't want that to project either. Or you don't want them to come and then she really doesn't want to be there. So then it becomes that kind of a resentment type thing as well. But you're going because your father said that you're coming and this is the family business and this is the way it's going to go. Fast forward years later, what happens? She now has a skill that she can use and she was using because she's braiding hair, and that's something that she's going to take with her and she does use it. You know what I mean? So right now, my 15-year-old, when I need help at the salon, I don't make her come with me all the time because now I'm in Delaware, and then I travel to Pennsylvania. But when I need help, she's coming with me and there's no option. But I don't make her work for free. I do pay her to help me do the hair. I don't want her to feel like I'm just using her, so she gets paid for every head that she does. Um, so I agree, but she wants to be a lawyer. I can't say no, you can't be a lawyer because that's what she wants to do. She does not. She has no interest in hair. As a matter of fact, she says she would prefer to do makeup over hair because hair takes too long. And that's okay. And I don't have a problem with that. But being a mentor, now I had a mentee. She went on to open up her own business and she's doing really, really well. That's who I wanted to be my successor. I knew I didn't want to stay behind a chair, and she's the one that trained and wanted to take over the business. But you know what? God had other plans. She opened her own business, and she's doing very well. I plan on opening up a business, a different business, but in the same field. I plan on finding a mentee and having a successor that way. And it's a certain way you have to write your legal papers because when I die, she's not going to have the majority of it. My kids are going to have the majority, and she's still going to be under. So, it's all business. Oh, okay, guys, we're not here for that. We are talking about coming to America. We're talking about different points in the movie that is important, and some of them are business tips. And I agree, LP. Sometimes the kids have too much freedom of yes and no, what they want to do, what they don't want to do, what they're gonna do, what they're not gonna do. There's no options. Back in the day, it used to be no options. Today, we give them too many options. Go ahead, LP. Or are we getting back to the movie?
All right. So, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I'm gonna have to
Okay.
get my
Okay.
charger for my computer, so I will step off. I'm gonna remove myself, but go ahead, continue.
Okay. Akeem is told this about his son. he was introduced to a quote unquote bastard son, right? And so we got turned to a detour, and it showed us that his baby mama got him intoxicated and forced herself on him and raped him. This was date rape. My question is, why wasn't this brought up or even dealt with in casual conversations? His baby mama got him intoxicated and forced herself onto him. She raped him and got pregnant. So they had a child based off of her raping him. Why was this not dealt with? I'll talk about that. His son is referred to as bastard on a consistent basis. What is a bastard? A bastard is an illegitimate child. A bastard is something that is of illegitimate birth. It is irregular. It is inferior or of questionable origin. An offensive or disagreeable person, used as a generalized term of abuse. He's called a bastard on a consistent basis, consistently called bastard throughout the whole movie. Now, let's meet the child, okay? Meet Lavelle, that's his name, Lavelle. His son is first seen preparing for a job interview. His mentor, which was his Uncle Reem, his mentor discouraged him by telling him why he can't get hired. I don't know why you in here with all these Mitt Romney looking people. You actually think they're going to hire you? He told him why he can't get hired. Then he gave him some tickets to go hustle. This is his mentor, the one who raised him. Now look, he told him, he said, man, look, I can't deal with this hand-to-mouth stuff no more. I'm in my 30s now. And his uncle said, since when? He said, since today. Since today. He's like, I can't believe you forgot my birthday. You want to know what his uncle said about his birthday? Nothing. His uncle turned to him and said, I'm your uncle. And you have to stay on the ground with me. Huh? So you're not going to like acknowledge his birthday, happy birthday, nephew, you know, man, that's what's up, blah, blah, blah. You ain't going to, you know, like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? You in here trying to get you a job. That's what's up, bro. You know what I'm saying? I hope you get, no. His uncle said, I need you to stay on the ground with me. I need you hustling and nickel and diming with me. His mentor did not even know his birthday or the fact that he was even in his 30s. When called on for the job interview, his mentor told him not to use the white voice. What? Referring to him talking proper. Don't use the white voice. This is his mentor. This is who raised him. All right, now let's look at Lavelle. Lavelle is qualified. Lavelle gives an amazing presentation. I'm talking about amazing presentation.
All right.
Lavelle was questioned on why he did not finish college. He was like, well, I was a few credits short. My mom ended up, she ended up getting laid off, and I had to come home and help out with the rent. He was like, oh, the interviewer said, what's wrong? Is she on drugs? He was like, nah, man.
Right.
Nah, man. He's like, well, what is it? I mean, and then he asked the question, was your father around? Look at Lavelle's response. Put his head down. And the interviewer continued on and shared some of the psychological issues that happen with boys who don't come up with their dad, right? And so look at the interviewer then told him of the studies of him not having a dominant male figure in the home and how detrimental it is to a child. Look at Lavelle's response. He began to bring out a long list of problems and issues that the interviewer had. and started, didn't you have a coke addiction? And didn't your mama have to take, didn't your daddy have to take you to a rehab? And And he stood up and said, kiss my A, Calvin. His emotional intelligence was tested and he failed drastically, causing him to continue to be unemployed. Emotional intelligence, the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions, and to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously, with good judgment, and empathetically. Let's use emotional intelligence in a sentence. Emotional intelligence is the key to both personal and professional success. Many of our young men struggle in society because of their lack of emotional intelligence. This is usually a byproduct of mother wounds, father wounds, and especially fatherlessness. Here you are, you're 30 years old, you live at home with your mom, you have no job, you need help. You go to a job interview, but because your emotional intelligence is not intact, because you are not able to control your emotions, simply because he poked at the bear a little bit, the bear came out and went crazy. People say stuff like, that interviewer shouldn't have disrespected him like that. He was saying all kind of disrespectful stuff. Oh, wait. You need a job. And whenever he was presented with the idea, well, I've seen studies where it says that, men who come up without a dominant male figure in their life, they usually have, he could have said, well, you know what? That is true. And I've had a lot of challenges over the years. However, because of my consistency with desiring success, I've been able to overcome a lot of these things. And I'm here today with you, and I'm looking for this opportunity. And if you give me this job, I could show you how much I've been able to overcome. Bam, he would have knocked it out of the park. I'm talking about he'd have knocked it out the park and he would have a job. But guess what? Because of the emotional intelligence not being intact.
I don't know that I would have wanted that job after, because if he's coming to me and I get what you're saying, and I can agree on a little bit, but if he was coming at me like that, I don't think I would want the job there. Like, you could keep that job. You could shove it up your behind, because you're not going to treat me any kind of a way. If I get hired, he's going to continue to do the same thing over and over. I don't believe that had he been hired for that job, he would have been treated any differently. He would have continued to look down on him or looked at him as less than, because of whatever emotional issues he had. Meanwhile, Calvin was having the same type of thing, but in a different way, because he admitted his father wasn't there, and the boys, whatever his name was, what's the boy's name?
Lavelle.
I forgot what I was going to say. I felt like Lavelle did, I can't disagree with the way Lavelle left, only
he don't
because
got a job.
he didn't get a job, but would he have wanted to work there? Would this man would have continued to downgrade him or make him feel even worse? At what point do we say, no, I'm not going to tolerate that? I'm not going to do this just to get a job working here. I could work for someone better for less.
His uncle still peddling on the streets.
Well, I'm not saying that, Tanika, but I'm saying he could have gotten an interview somewhere else who was going to treat him better, because that white boy, he was handed the job, and he admitted that his father.
I understand what you're saying.
Did
I understand
whatever.
what you're saying. I'm looking at it I understand what you're saying and taking it from that perspective. I have not seen the movie, but if you look at a white person always giving, to me, this is how I'm looking at it. White person always giving the black person something to say that they gave. Like, yeah, I offered him the job, whatever, but still demeaning. I understand what you're saying, that the white man would have still been demeaning the young man, Lavelle, if he had gotten the job. But what LP is saying is, you get your emotions in check, because you need the job. You got to pay your rent. You got to eat. You have to have clothes and stuff like that. Now, he could have checked his emotions and said, okay, I'm gonna get this job, do what I gotta do, and then step out and get another job that he probably would have been better qualified for. You have to take a step somewhere. So I could see from both perspectives what y'all are saying here. Get your emotions in
I'll give y'all
check.
a beautiful illustration. I'll give you a beautiful illustration. And when I say this, it's going to like, wow.
Okay.
Okay. During the Jim Crow era, there were some young ladies who were gifted at mathematics. And because of their gift, it gave them value. They contributed this value to NASA.
Yeah, I know.
And they were mistreated in NASA. However, when the people realized the value that they carried, you remember one of the sisters had to run and go use the bathroom in a whole other building, and she was doing this every day.
Yes.
When they found out the value that them sisters carried, guess what they did? That man went up there and tore that white only sign down and said, you will never have another problem in this place. You want to know why? Because of the value that she carried. When you carry value and you present that value, people will have a hard time mistreating you. Why? Because you're valuable. That young man was very valuable because he understood sales. He understood how it worked. He was extremely innovative. He was extremely gifted. However, it's a lot of young people. They got gifts, they got talents, they got abilities, they got all that, but they're constantly missing out because of their lack of emotional intelligence. It's some young men that, and it breaks my heart. It's young men that I've seen that are so gifted on the football field, basketball court, or whatever. And I've worked with them when they were younger. And then, they went to another school or whatever the case may be, and I wasn't able to really keep up with them as I was. But I see them like a year or two later, and I'm like, what's up, man? And I see them, and they they got that look. You can look at some kids, and you could tell what they got going on in their life is all over them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, what's up, man? How you doing in football? I don't play football no more. I'm like, why not? Man, shoot, man, I don't like that coach, man. He be doing too much, man. Like, what did he do? Man, shoot, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, so because you don't like the
Did you
coach,
just put it in?
you're done with football. Yeah, man, I'm done. So, like, but you were really good. Well, what you doing now? Shoot, nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then I look out, he in the car with like 4 different little dudes, and you can look at him and you know what's going on. You get what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro, not saying that your only ticket out is sports, but that was the one thing that was keeping you in school, bro. You see what I'm saying? And so because you don't like the coach, or because let's keep it real, the coach hurt his feelings.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And it goes back to the issue of emotional intelligence. So people like myself, you know what I'm saying? It was sports that kept me out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't an angel, but because I played ball, there was a lot of stuff that I didn't get into that I could have got into. You see what I'm saying? And so it's a lot of young men and women that they had opportunities laid out for them. But
sometimes you got to eat a piece of that humble pie. I do agree with that, but in that case, I don't know that I would have wanted to work there, honestly. And especially if we're talking about coming to America 30 years later, which is now, there's so many other opportunities. There's no need for me to come in right there and have you degrade me right from the door.
It's not a whole lot of opportunities for black men when it comes to employment, especially with certain it's not a lot of opportunities for black men.
Right. And for this case, what I'm saying, what I could see, he had the education behind him, just not the degree. And for black men today, for him to get hired on without the degree, if the person took him on, that would have been good. Because I'm hiring you, you don't have a degree, but you're going to make this amount of money in computers or whatever it was that he was doing, sales, whatever. And at the end of the day, I think, as the male, as a male in his 30s, he needs to have something, a job. He needs to have
He's 31,
something.
He lives with his mother.
Mm-hmm.
And we have another saying from Renee: a present given to you on a garbage can lid is not a gift. I remember that from Bill Cosby show.
Me too.
All right, guys, we are talking about Coming to America, the movie. We are touching on different points. We have a guest here, LP. This has been a heated conversation. It's been great so far. I know we've been on for over an hour, but just roll with us if you can. And we're going to get back into the movie.
Let's do it.
I'm ready, LP. Waiting for your slide.
All right.
And I think LP and Tisha, I think that maybe we look at it from different points of view, because you looking at it as female, we looking at it as female, LP looking at it as male. Like,
absolutely.
But I'm looking at it like 30 years old, still living at home, no job.
That's true. I feel the same way, though. I do feel the same. And that's mothers mothering their children instead of giving them the boot.
Right. Absolutely. We gonna
should have been out that apartment.
We gonna get to that. Okay, we get the scenes with the barbershop, right? If y'all can remember,
is that Al Sharpton?
No,
that's Tanika.
That's
Betty Murphy.
Oh, okay, in costume. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, so if we remember in part one, the barbershop scene, these men was giving wisdom to Simi and Akeem. You can remember, he went to him for a Jerry curl. He said, "Well, you ain't got to get no messy Jerry curl in your head. What you trying to get? Well, I just want to look nice for a woman. Man, you ain't got to have no messy Jerry curl to get no woman. It ain't about what's in your hair. It ain't about what's in your pocket. It's American Girl. Yeah, it's an American Girl. You get in good with her papa, then you in good with her. You home free, like a bud." You know what I'm saying? It was good advice. You remember when he called him outside? He's like, "Look, where can we go to find, good women?" He was like, well, there's plenty of women out here. You got to look for them. He's like, "Well, we've been at every bar in Queens." He's like, "That's the problem. You can't go to no bar looking for no woman. You can go to church. You go to libraries, good girls there, or you go here to this Miss America, this Miss Black Awareness pageant. It's going to some good, clean girls there. That's where I'm going." You see what I'm saying? So it was like these barbers, they had great advice for the men. In part two, all they doing is cooning and clowning. That's it. Clowning. That's all they doing, clowning. They even made some, it was one, and it was very uncalled for, because I hate the colorism thing that we got as in the black community. He was like, "Yeah, me myself, I like me a red bone." You're like, bro, really? You really, bro? Like we really gonna do that? You see what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, why do we gotta reinforce these different issues that we got as a people? You see what I'm saying? Like, because I hate hearing black folks talk like that. Oh, I like light skinned. If she ain't light skinned, I don't want her. You know what I'm saying? If she ain't got no good hair, you know what I'm saying? All this, I hate that junk. You get what I'm saying? So whenever I heard it in this movie, it got under my skin. You see what I'm saying? Especially coming from them, because myself personally, I have this thing about myself. Now, it may be an issue, but this is just my thing. I have an expectation for older men to guide me in the right direction. So when I see older men not guiding me or attempting to guide me in the right direction, I get offended. And because I have this mindset of, fam, you've been here way longer than me, bro. You supposed to know more than me, and you supposed to be pushing me in the right direction. And so whenever that's not being done, I come undone. I get upset. I come apart. I'm like, bro, come on, man. That's my personal issue that I got. So anyway, this is my issues that I had with the barbers. You know what I'm saying? And we saw Lavelle out there selling them tickets, slanging tickets like his uncle told him to. Don't get you a job. I need you on the ground with me. petty hustling with me. Okay, next slide. They show up at the mama house. What do you know? You got your uncle and you got 3 of his friends sitting at the table with the birthday cake, right? Now, there was a comment that was made by his mother. She said, I need y'all to put 31 candles on the cake. You say, well, we ain't got but 31 candles. We ain't got 31 candles. We ain't got but 10. It's like, well, break them in half and put them on there. She's like, that's still not 31. That's
Right.
only 20. And so I want you to pay close attention. What do you see most prevalent in these scenes, in these 2 pictures?
Beer.
Okay,
Beer.
how many beers do you see?
At least 3.
Okay, you got them in a can and in a bottle, right?
Oh, okay, maybe 4 or 5.
So you got some canned beer and some bottled
Oh
beer.
yes, about 6. Okay.
Okay, so they done bought their beer and they getting it in, right? The mama asked the uncle, well, why didn't you get enough so that we can have 31 candles? I only had enough money left over to get 10. What? So your nephew's birthday mean that much to you that you can go buy your beer, but you couldn't get to make sure they had candles for the cake.
Priorities.
You see what I'm saying? This is his flipping mentor. Okay? All right. So he gave this host because Hakeem showed up. You know, I was like, hey, look, you know, we finna take you back to Zamunda with us. You know what I'm saying? You are the prince of, you're the heir to be the prince of the Zamunda. We're going to take you back. And he said, listen, nah, I ain't looking for no handout. And then whenever he saw that gold that fell out of Simi's briefcase, he said, okay, who am I to question the fact that I'm a prince? And yeah, you finna go. And then they say, okay, well, we finna go ahead and take him. And then the uncle jumps up. Wait a minute. Now, I raised him since he was a baby. Okay, so he making his mark, you know what I'm saying, and because you know it's kind of like when the little dude go to the pros, and whenever he on draft night, all of his uncles and his great cousins and all the folks in the community that ain't have didn't put nothing in the boy, but they lay claims to him. You understand? This is one of these situations right here, right? You know what I'm saying? And so this is what really jumped out at me. He said, I'm not about to get on no plane and go way on the other side of the world without my mama. What? You can't go without your mama? Okay, very well. We'll take your mama too. So they head on out, right? So we get back to Zamunda. His wife is letting him have it. She is letting him have it because of this woman, this child that he has. Now keep in mind, he didn't tell her because guess who told him to do it in secret? His daddy.
And that's the issue that my girls had at work. They said they felt like you keeping it a secret and not telling me. Well, first, let me say that was weak on the dad's part. Like the dad shouldn't have told him. That was weak. Absolutely. The girls at work were like, they were through with it. And I'm gonna put it in the biblical for you, LP, because you're supposed to respect and love one another, honor one another. Absolutely. Once he did that, the girls felt like all bets are off. You could take the Bible out of it at this point because you are not doing what you're supposed to do. You're not respecting what the Bible says do. You're not respecting me. You're not honoring the word. So now for them, all bets are off, you know.
Now you remember I said each one of these characters were emasculated.
I have 2 things. It was something you were saying about one, you were saying how the uncle, Tracy Morgan's character, was on board. Like, you know, I raised this boy from a baby. And he's not like the absentee father. He actually was there from the beginning when she had. So I can get with him on that, saying, look, I've had this boy since he was a baby. However, he's not the father.
Right.
And, he really didn't. I guess he did the best he could. No, because he could have done much better. He could have taught. He could have let him better. So I'm just gonna say he was there from the beginning.
I agree.
And
I agree, but I'm just saying this is what his leadership and his mentorship
right.
represented.
And then the whole going with his mother to Africa, I was okay with that, only because yes, he's 30, but you got to remember his mind is not of a 30-year-old man. He's not lived independently. Where's he going without his mama? He's like, he's never
Listen
been
to you.
out of the
Listen to what
country.
you're saying. Listen to what you're saying.
I'm saying he's never been out the country. So where's he? He's going to a strange land with people he don't know.
He need his
He's a
mama to
stranger
help
in a
him.
strange land.
He need his mama to help him, huh? His mom.
That's right. He sure does. He sure
need his
does. No,
mama.
not like that. But when he doesn't know any better. You know
He
what I'm
need
saying?
his
Like it wouldn't be
mama.
like my kids. They've traveled. They've gone places. I wouldn't expect them to say, "Ma, I need you to come with me." But when you have this one who's living with his mother and not so,
He can't do nothing. He can't do it without his mama.
because that's all he knows. She didn't teach him independence. You know what I'm saying? She didn't teach him independence. She
This
made
is
him like coddle under her. Like that was her baby. Like, and that was a
castration,
problem.
emasculation.
That's his point,
Castration.
Tisha.
I got it. I got it.
Emasculation.
I got it. I got it. And isn't that a lot of the mothers today, especially when you think of,
Absolutely.
mothers that's doing it on their own, single moms, they want to hold their babies close.
But
Sometimes it's hard for them to let go.
it's a lot of mamas that's raising them boys right though, and making them boys
And
take
right, there are a
initiatives.
lot that's raising them like, get out.
It's
You
it's
got
a
to do
lot
your
of
thing.
it's a lot of mamas that's making them boys take the initiative, causing them boys to having them to make their own decisions.
Yes.
You understand? It's mamas that's doing that.
Yes.
But this mama right here, who was very unfit.
And I was going to say, you got to look at her fitness. You got to see what kind of mother she was, what kind of
Unfit.
woman she was in the
Unfit.
movie.
Because in the movie she said, I was a hoe back in the day, right?
Yep,
I was
that's
a
what she
hoe, right?
said. That's what she said.
I was out here in the
Wow.
streets. I was a hoe.
That's what
Wow.
she said.
That's what she said.
I don't think I would even say that, let that be known, like he didn't need to know that. I didn't see the movie again. So that's just my disclaimer.
Okay. So let's get back to this scene with wifey. Getting at him, right? Getting at the king, wearing him out, getting him told. And then his baby mama show up and hugged the queen and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry I had sex with your husband." Oh, just rubbed it on in. And what did she say to her? Nothing. Okay, let's go. Akeem introduces his son to his daughters, and this is your bastard brother. Okay, all right, this is your bastard brother. Okay, and this is and he say, okay, bastard brother. So he referred to himself as a bastard constantly reminding him that he is illegitimate, that he's a bastard, right? This is constant.
That's sad.
This goes back to mother wounds, father wounds, emasculation, castration. All right. Y'all remember General Izzy? You remember his son? Remember his feelings was hurt after he was rejected? Look at him. He's still hurting. Look what's over there. Look what's to the right. Look what's over there. You see what's over there? What's over there? Video game controllers.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just play my video games. And I'm just emotionally unstable. What do all of the males in this movie exemplify? Emasculation. Castration. Let's continue. Okay. They at the dinner table. Now, before we even deal with the context of what actually happened, what was said, what was done, if one of my children was to stand up at my table while we eating, I've lost my appetite, and he gonna walk to his room. He might walk to his room, but he gonna limp there. How dare you stand up at my table and tell me what you gonna do because your feelings hurt? But as we seen, Simi told us, behold, the Prince of Zamunda in his natural state, cowering at the mercy of the women in his life. Okay, let's continue. Okay, we go after this big fiasco of having to deal with his baby mama and his son. He heads to the bedroom, and the first thing his wife says is, "You sure you're in the right bedroom?" Come on, sweetheart. Really? No, really? Really? So, he had to go through that whole little ordeal. She letting him have it again. Then he wants some loving. Sweetheart, I've been on a rather long trip.
No, LP, I can't agree with you on this one.
I'm not finished.
Go ahead, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not finished. Okay. Sweetheart, I've been on a long trip. In other words, it's been a while. So I'm a little backed up, right? My sweet, I was just thinking if we, listen how he talking. I just want to,
Right.
If if I could, can I have some? Can I have some? And look what she turned around. Boy, if you don't get out of my face, boy, and she turned on back over, threw the shoulder at him, and went to sleep. And what he did, I'm sorry, my sweet. It was foolish for me to ask you that. Good night. And then he laid there and said, "Man, this some bull. This some bull." He said that to himself. "This some bull. I want some. You won't give me none." Okay. Now, let's look at the context of the situation. Okay. This is the king of Zamunda. Okay. Now, he could have easily, just said, you don't want to give me none. Okay, I'll just go take a bath. Bathers? Now, would he have been wrong if he'd have went and called the bathers and went and took a bath? Answer the question. Would he have been wrong?
No.
Okay, that's all I wanted to hear. Okay, that's all. Can we go on, or you wanted to go ahead and make a comment and deal with it?
I was just commenting that I felt that it was he could have went to the bath, and that's probably what he should have done, because after you traveled to New York, got your son, bring the mother with him, wasn't honest. You think you're gonna get something? No, you're not getting nothing. You're not getting anything. So he shouldn't have even asked. He shouldn't have even went down that road. But that's just my opinion on that.
Right. So this goes back to something that I've been talking about this week, and we can have a healthy debate on this. I'm a very open-minded person, and I perceive that you are too.
Yes.
I made a statement the other day. I said, if sex is used as a prize for good behavior, and if it is withdrawn as punishment for bad behavior, that is sexual abuse.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wasn't looking at it like that. Well, that's not the way we do it here. But I'm just saying that.
I'm not saying that's what you do. I'm just making a statement. Do you agree with the statement that if it's used as
you should never use sex as just like you shouldn't use kids as a pawn? I agree.
Right, but this is a very common thing. It is used as, "Oh, you did good. Let me give you some. Oh,
Right.
you did bad. You ain't
Right.
getting none.
Right.
That's
Okay,
what-
now Renee's comment that's on the screen is what the girls at work was saying. He did not respect his wife or children enough to have a conversation beforehand. That's an issue. So the wife she has the right to feel like, I don't want to be bothered with this. Give me some time to cool off. Let me process this, because you didn't come to me before with none of this stuff, when you were sneaking behind your back, listening to your daddy, what he told you to do, but you wasn't man enough to come to me and tell me.
So I'm
So
gonna punish you.
well, this is how the girls felt about it at work. You
So-
was keeping it to yourself then, keep it to yourself now.
Right. So the girls were saying punish him and don't put him on punishment. Don't give him none. Right.
Or at least give them a minute, because give them a minute to process. Like, I don't want to deal with this right now.
Right.
Let me have my space. What's that scripture that talks about the man living on the rooftop instead of dealing with the dripping wife
Yes.
voice, blah, 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 blah. But it's better for him to be on the rooftop. So you go take your space, I'm going to take my space, and we'll come back together later.
So he could go and say, bathers, and go, and then
They can say all of that, but they just need that.
she come up out
breather.
that water. The royal penis is clean, Your Highness.
You're awful. But
right,
that's what they were saying.
Go back to
that's-
the movie. We are like reenacting the whole movie.
I'm dealing with the context of Coming to America. And I'm dealing with it from that perspective. So, based off of that perspective, would he have been wrong if he'd have went and got a bath? Because wifey said no.
Yes, he would have been wrong.
So
Because
Right.
it was all his doing.
Was
It was
wifey
his doing
wrong
that
for
why he couldn't get any.
Right. So was wifey wrong for punishing him?
It wasn't a punishment.
It wasn't a punishment.
She withdrew.
She need
You don't
time.
always have to say yes.
I didn't say that. Listen, I didn't say she always had to say yes. I'm asking questions. I just want to get my answer.
Like I said, the girls felt like she need time. Like, you throwing this all on me right now.
Right.
Give me a minute. Give
Right.
me you. Everybody needs separate time. Go to your man cave for a little while. Let me go to my whatever space, wherever she goes, in the house, in the castle, or whatever. Just give her a minute.
Right.
Not necessarily saying that she's punishing him or, telling him no. She just needs a minute.
Right. I brought this. Somebody presented a concern to me, and I want y'all to tell me what y'all thoughts are pertaining to this. They were saying, well, she wasn't fond of him at that point in time, and so it's okay for her to not engage because she's not fond of him right now. So I asked the question. I said, let me ask you this. In your entire lifetime, in every experience that you've had sexually, were you fond of every single person that you laid with? And they were like, no. Okay. So you were fond with random such and such. You weren't fond of them and you laid with them. So in this moment, you're not fond of your spouse. You can't lay with them. That doesn't make sense.
See your comment up there? No woman owes any man her body at will. She did not have to give it up right then and there after the long day she's had and after all of this that you just put me through. It's no. I
Right.
agree
So-
with the queen,
So put him on
in
punishment.
this.
Put him on punishment. That's what she's saying, right?
If that's the way you want to look at it, then he's on punishment.
Okay, so hold on. We had LP and I had this debate at the shop. Not really a debate, but of course, if you follow the Bible teaching,
I wasn't even
your
gonna bring
body
that
is
up.
not your own.
I wasn't
Your
gonna bring
body
that
is
up.
not your own once you're married. You belong to him. He belongs to you. Whatever. So
I
if you
wasn't
took
gonna
it from,
bring that up. I wasn't gonna bring that up.
I'm bringing it up. So, but for that comment, just for that comment. But again, I say she needs to, okay, agreed upon time. Oh, there you go. There you go. You see that?
Agreed upon time. That wasn't agreed upon time. They didn't agree.
Right.
Where two or three gather and touch and agree. They
Two
didn't
or
agree.
three.
Okay. So since y'all want to do the Bible thing, let's do that. All right. Now, see, I wasn't gonna go there because, but
I'm
y'all.
sorry, LP.
No. I wasn't gonna deal with the Bible. I wasn't even gonna argue this point. I was just gonna present the information and keep it moving. But y'all want
Thank
to
you,
bring.
Tony. You've been with us the whole time, Tony. Thank
Y'all
you.
want to bring the Bible up, so we gonna do it. Let's do it. All right.
Do it, LP. Do it.
Number one, the scripture says, "Do not let the sun go down on your wrath," meaning
This
you
is
do
true.
not supposed to go to bed mad. That's number one. Number
And she
two,
might not have been mad when she went to bed, but she still didn't want to give it up. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Number two, the scripture talks about how your body don't belong to you, but to your spouse. And the only time you are supposed to withhold is for the sake of prayer and fasting. And he said, if you're going to do
And
it
when you're
because
cycling,
In the Old Testament.
yeah,
In the Old Testament.
the
right,
menses, yeah.
because you got
Some things got to
people,
carry over to the new.
you got some people. No, I'm just saying you got some people. They feel like um uh, uh, um a period don't stop none but a sentence. I've heard men say that.
Yes, I've heard that.
I don't agree with that, but I'm just saying that's neither here nor there. However, the scripture talks about how the only time you're supposed to not engage is if you have agreed upon fasting and prayer. But he said you need to immediately come back so that Satan do not tempt you because of lack of self-control, right? And so what happens is a lot of times we say, I know the Bible say that, but this my body, I do what I want to do with it, right? This goes for men too that say, you know what, shoot, I'm finna go over here and holler at Sharon. I'm finna go, you get what I'm saying? Bro, you can't do that. You can't do that because that's not for Sharon. That's for your wife, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's for your wife and only for your wife. You feel me? And so we got this thing going on where people are saying, no, this is my body. I do what I want. I can go over here and holler at old girl or I can go, you know what I'm saying? Or I can say no and no, you ain't getting nothing, nigga, because I'm mad at you. Woo, woo, woo. And this is causing so much tension in our relationships. And this tension is unnecessary. But the reason why we have this tension is because of our selfishness, our overwhelming selfishness. And we go with, well, what about him? He did that. So two wrongs make a right now?
Yes, but then she would have been not true to herself and felt a way after. Let's say she went through with the act. She would have not felt good in her own self, probably because she already wasn't feeling it. You know what I'm saying? So
But we don't
she's
walk
supposed to
by
be just a dump
feelings.
bucket for him, not like that. But we need to get off of this subject in a second.
Hold on, wait. We don't walk by feelings, though. You see what I'm saying? Feelings are fickle. They change. You know what I'm saying? If I get my stimulus
It wasn't
check,
changed in that moment.
No. I'm just saying what happens is we make decisions based off of feelings. And when feelings are so fickle, feelings get us into so much trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel played, I take my gun, click, clack, boom, and shoot this person because of my feelings. You see what I'm saying? Feelings, you get your stimulus check. Oh, I got my stimulus check. Feelings, boom, you get an unexpected bill in the mail. Dang, feelings change immediately. You see what I'm saying? So we make concrete decisions based off feelings when we shouldn't make decisions based off feelings. We should make decisions based off principles. You see what I'm saying?
The principle was he went out, did what he needed to do, and then came back.
Right.
He did the wrong thing. That was her principle.
Right.
Don't come back to me now,
Right.
asking me for nothing.
I agree. He didn't do right. Okay. So he didn't do right. So
nor did I really hear an apology for him when he came back with that. I didn't really remember hearing an apology.
I'm in full agreement with you on that. I'm in agreement with you. I went back. Remember, I told you that we're dealing with the issue of emasculation, right? Whenever you have an emasculated man, right, he's not going to have the necessary. Listen, sweetheart. Okay, I made a poor decision. I was listening to my paw, which was a very bad decision. I shouldn't have listened to him because that nigga ain't hitting on nothing, no way. But I shouldn't have listened to him, but I did. And listen, you know, you gotta be man enough to go and look somebody in their face and, hey, look, I was wrong. I apologize. And listen, I want to make that right. You get what I'm saying? You gotta have your big boy shorts on to be able to acknowledge your wrong and even go to the person who wronged you and ask for forgiveness. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I guess he answered your question, Renee. What happened to emotional intelligence in this case? He wasn't emotional intelligent. He didn't go back to his wife and apologize like he should have. And then maybe she would have been forgiving and said, all right, you know.
I told you he was totally emasculated.
Okay. So let's get back to the movie. We've been on for an hour and a half already.
One more point, LP. One more point from the movie.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Now, here we go. Y'all can see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, we got Lavelle. He wakes up in the he wake up, the women is there to bathe him. The bathers. Right?
How ironic.
And Lavelle say, what y'all hold on. Like y'all gonna hold on, wait a minute. Let me go ask my mama. Mama. They got some girls in there say they gonna give me a bath. Can I do that? Yeah, baby, this royalty. You know, you do your royal thing. That's what they do around here. You a prince. Go be a prince. Go ahead and let them bathe you. Oh, okay, mama. Okay, mama. Okay. So he go get bathed after mama told him. Mama said I can get a bath. I'm 31, but I had to go ask my mama. Because, you know, I can't do nothing without my mama. Because my mama said I can get a bath, y'all. Mama said, okay, introducing Lavelle Johnson. And his mama slapped his hand. Psh. Oh, and my mom's too. Lavelle Johnson and his mom's.
Wow.
Okay, so she walks up, all right, and she tells she said, isn't that my dress you got on? The queen tells her, that's my dress you got on. Oh yeah, I went in your closet and I found it and I took it and this, that, and the other. And I can't believe you went in my closet and took my dress. Then she looked at the queen's daughter and said, why your mama so uppity? The girl say, what is uppity? She said, I'm not uppity. And she said, uppity, B-I-T-C-H, say what? This is what she said to the queen. This is what the baby mama said to the queen.
Wow.
This is what the baby mama said to the queen. Back in 2008, a court actually handed down a punishment of a 95-year-old man in a wheelchair for allegedly insulting the king under his breath. The man died 5 months into his sentence. These are the types of things that go on in Africa when you disrespect royalty. You understand? But this was totally neglected and ignored. And not only is that neglected and ignored, but whenever the queen, she never addressed the fact that this woman disrespected her, called her.
That's
BTA.
awful.
She never dealt with it. But she went off on her husband a couple times though. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We get here and and then General Izzy shows back up, being mad disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? He come in, he bring his daughter come in, she twerking, shaking it, all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? A whole HBCU band comes in, Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Miles College.
Wow.
That's what came in. The drum line, the dance girls, they came all in. You know what I'm saying? This ain't have nothing to do with Africa. Then whenever she grabbed her son, boy, you go out there and you sing that song. Now go out there and do it. Mama, I can go sing to the girl. Okay, all right, mama. Okay. My mama got to give me the encouragement that I need. Okay, mama said I can do it. Okay, mama said I can come sing this song to you. All right, and then General Izzy got his finger in the king's face, telling him what he gonna do? Disrespect again, emasculation. Okay, I'm gonna skip through this. Some of these points. Well, right here, he actually, he was, the whole thing. He's supposed to go and cut the
The hair.
Lion's whiskers.
the whiskers, and he said, "Okay, how many times did it? You did it on your 8th time?" He's like, "No, I did it on the 1st time." He said, "Ha ha ha! Ha, I know you lying because I know your soft ass didn't do that." Yeah, that's what he told his daddy. Yeah. Okay, but anyway, this is a whole nother conversation. You know what I'm saying? I talk on this for hours. But anyway, while he learning how to walk and all that, old girl, she was practicing and working. I appreciate it. Her work ethic was amazing. She was out there practicing. She was out there working. They caught her one time. She was in there reading. She was reading some books. So she got her book sense. She working. She doing her thing. I appreciated that. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, I want y'all to pay attention to this, and then we can be finished. All right. Now, when she first walk up to Lavelle, right here, you see where she's positioned?
Yeah.
She's positioned beneath him.
Right.
While she was positioned beneath him, she was screaming at him, talking crazy to him. Ah, ah. But then she walked behind him and she positioned herself above him.
Mm-hmm.
This is subliminal messages. She positioned herself above him. Once she positioned herself above him, she became very dignified. And she started talking to him with some sense. At the same time, she brought up the fact that he was a mistake. So she became extremely passive aggressive in that point. This is subliminal. While I'm beneath you, I'm screaming and but as soon as I take that position above you, I acted a little dignified. Deal with you.
All right, 1 second. Tanika, do you think we should have a part 2 to this? Because we still got people who's been on from the beginning till now, and it's almost 2 hours later, and I think we're at the halfway or just past the halfway point of the movie.
I do not know. You would have to ask LP if he would be willing.
LP, are you available next Wednesday?
Yeah, we can do part 2. We can make that happen.
Because we have been talking for 2 hours, and guys, it wouldn't have taken this long, but we're all giving our opinions in the midst of it. We're taking our personal advice, and we're giving business advice and business tips, life advice as well. So we want to say thank you for watching us tonight, but continue. And we're going to finish up. We're going to wrap it up in about 15 minutes or less.
No doubt. So we got 15 minutes. We got 15 more minutes.
We're wrapping it up within the next 15 minutes.
Okay, no. I just kind of wanted to, just based off of the information that was shared so far, you know what I'm saying? We can just kind of have a little open discussion about that.
Recap,
yeah. So
no more slides. But remember where you left off.
Yeah. I remember. So go ahead.
No, you was gonna say about the castration, the blah blah blah. Go ahead.
Yes. This is something that we see on a consistent basis. There's an agenda that is a part of the Willie Lynch theory. Now, a lot of people say, hey, the Willie Lynch letter was not a real letter. It was made up, which is true. However, from a principle-based standpoint, it was on point. It was spot on, right? And so one of the issues is set the older men against the younger men, the older women against the younger women, set the men against the women, you know what I'm saying? Any differences that they have, right? And so there's this big push to set men against women and women against men, right? And so because of that, there's a lot of aggression and anger whenever there's issues, men versus women, women versus men issues. There's a lot of aggression and there's a lot of anger and there's a lot of frustration and there's a lot of things that take place. I don't partake in those frustration things because I ain't got a problem with women. I support women. I encourage women. I do all I can to inspire women. I respect women. You know what I'm saying? You can't find a woman over the past 20 years that can come to you and tell you that LP disrespected them, right? And if it was any type of disrespect, I don't know nothing about it, and if it was very unintentional. So I can, when I say what I'm about to say, I can speak from a place of authority. You feel me? Because I respect women. I honor women. You know what I'm saying? I support women. You feel me? I'm married to a woman. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very, 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 very supportive of women. So my thing is, I don't like these plots that they have and the things that are presented before us, because again, if you look at the whole entire thing about this movie, all of the women in the movie won. Every woman in the movie won, from the most disqualified one to the qualified one. Every last one of them won. However, the men, all of them questionable. And so a lot of people like, well, at least Wesley Snipes was a manly man. Okay, Wesley Snipes had a skirt on at the end of the movie.
I don't know. Skirt on at the end. Well, we're not at the end yet. But like in some cultures, like now we have the Irish. What is this? St. Patrick's Day.
This is Africa too.
This is Africa. You're right. But yes, because I wanted to just go back a little bit. Not anything important. You were saying how she went into the queen's closet and wore her dress, because you saw Lisa in the dress in the beginning, and then you saw not Lisa. You saw the queen in the dress before, and then you saw Lisa Leslie come out in the dress. She even said, I had the seamstress take it out, so it could fit, and blah blah. So she really kind of just disrespected her in that aspect. I don't know.
Throughout the whole movie. Now watch this. Yes. Let me say
I
this.
think also Lisa's character really wasn't respecting the queen. She should have, because she's the queen. She's not your friend from Queens. And I think that's what she was trying to make it like they were homegirls from Queens, because she knew that she was from America, etc. So she's trying to, but you're not on the same pace as me. You're not on the same level as me, and you're not respecting me in my position. So I agree. I don't like that phrase anyway. So, but yeah, she was totally disrespectful toward the queen.
The queen never addressed it.
And the queen never addressed it.
But she addressed her husband, his disrespect.
Okay, so I have a point on that. She didn't address it. Again, I'm not going to watch the movie. So even next week, I would not have seen the movie. I'm just listening to all sides. The fact that she disrespected the queen and the queen did not address it. There's times that I don't address ignorance. I'll let you just have it and keep it moving, because in the end, you look stupid, not me. And I recently had that happen to me at work, when a worker below me was, I ain't say nothing. Got back to the office, word got back before I got back that worker was being disrespectful to me, the nurse, when she was under me. I didn't have to say a word.
Right.
I didn't have to say a word. And I was like, see there? And then when I went back, that person that was under me was all lovely and sweet now after the fact. But I didn't have to say a word. And sometimes you don't have to. And when you're in queendom, like this queen, she don't need to address that. But her husband, she needed to check, or at least say something. Sorry, LP.
We got a comment. Hey, Tony. There's an agenda to continue to diminish the male role in the home and totally damage the family dynamic. I didn't see the movie, and listening to this discussion, I don't need or want to. All right, Tony. Thank you for your view. I appreciate that. I hadn't
seen it either, Tony. So
you and Tamika in the same position.
Here's the thing, Tony. If you just watch that movie, all of these dynamics that I'm pulling out, you probably wouldn't have paid attention to none of that.
Because we watch for entertainment. I wasn't watching for, my husband said, and I said, okay, let's sit down and watch it. I wasn't watching for all of these little pieces.
Right.
Let me see. We got Renee again. Queen or not, she should have not gone into her closet without permission.
I agree. I agree that was disrespectful.
She gonna hug the queen and say, "Oh, queen, I'm so sorry I had sex with your husband."
That was disrespectful.
But to me, that was before I even knew him. That was before I even saw. I don't even care. It's not something for me to address. I don't care.
Right. But watch this. Let me tell you what she did to her husband. whenever he was trying to explain himself, he said, but besides, I mean, this happened before I even met you. You know what I'm saying? This happened. She was like, yeah, okay, that's right. But you know, it's very common for kings to have illegitimate children, right? Matter of fact, you know, so you I wasn't the first one that you was with. You know what? And you wasn't the first man that I was with. And he, wait. Why you hurt people do what?
Hurt people.
And that was what was exemplified in that moment. It was just petty. I'm going to say this to hurt you. 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 And these are things that...
She could have said it to him, and she could have been saying it because it was true. He might not have been the first one, you know.
But
I get it. Yeah. She said it, as a retaliation.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's that petty stuff that we do in our relationships that we need to stop doing. We don't need to do that. You get what I'm saying? And so, you know, it's like when I'm addressing these certain things, and again, we can rationalize it. We can try to fix it. We can say, hey, you know what I'm saying? I was hurt, so I had every reason to hurt you. You didn't do what was right, so I had every reason to punish you and not give you none, or whatever the case may be. We can rationalize all this stuff, but at the end of the day, it's not okay.
Thank you guys for joining Twin This. We are going to pick up part 2 next Wednesday with LP. We are reviewing Coming to America 2. So I thank y'all. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for catching the replay. Share it out. Leave some comments or questions or whatever, and join us again next week. Where we're going to do part 2, because, you know, we have different views, and I'm going to continue, like I said, to not see the movie and just be in this discussion with Tisha and LP. LP?
Ladies, I just want to say thank you so very much for having me on tonight. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the conversation, and I look forward to next week. To everybody that watched tonight, thank you so very much for tuning in, and thank you for all the comments and everything. And I appreciate it. And it's good, healthy dialogue. Nobody got the cussing at nobody. Nobody cut nobody's head
tonight.
Off. Good, healthy conversation. We may not agree, but it's good, healthy conversation.
I'm just typing in the chat. Thank you to everyone who watched and stayed for the whole thing. Again, now this is Tisha. Thank you for watching tonight. We are going to continue a part 2 next week. This was a hot topic. This was a hot discussion. We thank you for watching on the replays, and come with your comments next week. Come with your questions next week. This is an open conversation. Nobody's upset here. We all have an opinion, and we wanted to hear Paul's LP's. Sorry, we wanted to hear LP's point of view because he has some strong points of view. And my sister said, Tisha, we have to have him on. So I was like, let's do it. LP was so gracious to say yes at the last minute. Yes, I'm ready to do it. And you just heard me put him on blast tonight, right here, if he's available next Wednesday. And he said he'll be back next Wednesday. So we want to say thank you for watching. Have a good night. We will be back on Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good night. And we're going to pick up where we left off. LP is going to start with the slide that we left off on. So have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
All right.